Healthcare, and this is the first episode of Evie's Cannalogue. So just to kind of tell you a little bit about myself, cannabis has pretty much saved my life. When I was 23 years old, I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease. And so my physicians put me on Lortab, which is a narcotic pain medicine, and Somas, which are a muscle relaxer. So that was kind of my first introduction into pharmaceuticals, especially narcotics. Never had really taken anything like that before. So I hate to say I was addicted, but I was definitely dependent upon them to be able to make it through. My back I was in a lot of pain with my back. And I depended on them a lot. Then as years went by, my father passed away. And then a couple years later, my husband passed away. And my wonderful physician put me on Prozac for anxiety attacks. And I couldn't take it. It made me not feel anything. I had no emotions at all. I wasn't able to grieve. It made me feel like I was just cold-hearted. And if anybody knows me, they know that that's completely opposite the person I am. And I just couldn't stand being on them. So I weaned myself off of them. And the panic attacks kept coming. So my doctor finally prescribed Xanax. So at this point, I'm taking Lortab for pain. I'm taking Somas for muscle relaxer. And I'm taking Xanax for anxiety attacks. At this point in my life, I am diagnosed with precancerous cells on my cervix. Now, after my husband passed away, I did start smoking cannabis, mainly just to kind of deal with life and kind of as a getaway. Helped with anxiety, helped with my pain. I still took the pain medicine. I still took all the medicines that my doctors were giving me. But at this point, I was smoking occasionally. It wasn't an everyday thing. It wasn't an all the time thing. But after being diagnosed with the precancerous cells on my cervix, I decided after research that cannabis could possibly help me. And so at this point, I became a regular cannabis user. Mainly I smoked because I lived in an illegal state, so I wasn't able to come across some of the other ways to take it, like the cannabis oils and stuff. I wasn't educated well enough to know that those might have helped me even better. So that's one of the many reasons why I want to pass on some knowledge to you guys and pass my story on to you guys and just kind of let you guys know where I'm coming from. So when I started smoking regularly, I weaned myself off all these pharmaceuticals. Now, I was taking 120 10 milligram Lortabs a month. I was taking 100 Somas a month, and I was taking 100 1 milligram Xanaxes a month. And I would say it probably took me about a year to wean myself off all those pharmaceuticals. I'm not saying I don't ever take anything for pain. If I have to, I try ibuprofen or something like that. And I will take narcotics if I have to. That doesn't happen very often. So 3 years ago, I went into my gynecologist and had my regular pap smear, and they told me there that I had no precancerous cells on my cervix. So all those precancerous cells were gone. Nothing had grown. Everything was gone. And since then, I've had a clean bill of health ever since. 2 years ago, I went to a pain management specialist who did a new MRI. Hadn't had an MRI in many, many years. And told me I no longer have degenerative disc disease. Now, the biggest change I made was smoking regularly. Now that I'm in a legal state where I can smoke legally, I'm learning more and more about all the other ways that you can take cannabis. And later on, we will go into more of that. So I just kind of wanted to tell you where I came from and why this is so important to me. I am a nurse, and I have seen cannabis change people's lives, numerous people's lives, firsthand. And I really feel like this is my calling. So this is why I'm doing this, to kind of let you guys know about cannabis, and just educate you guys so you guys can educate everybody else and we can break the stigma. You will notice that I won't call it marijuana. I won't call it weed. All those terms are derogatory. All those terms are used to make it look bad. I will use the name it's supposed to have, and the name is cannabis. So when I talk about it, it's going to be called cannabis. Just a little bit of history. In 1607, the colony of Jamestown, Virginia was founded. Less than 12 years later, the first cannabis law was enacted, which made growing fibrous hemp mandatory. Other mandatory growing laws were passed in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and the Chesapeake colonies. People actually went to jail for not growing hemp. Considered a legal form of tender, you could even pay your taxes with it. During the American Revolution, the first draft of the Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper, and the first flag was woven out of it. The U.S. Pharmacopoeia of 1851 even listed it as a medicine effective in treating a number of illnesses. Up until the 1800s, it was a common ingredient in many medicines, often as a tincture or extract. It wasn't until the scheming of Harry Anslinger in 1937 that it was demonized and made illegal. The rest is history. Did you know that your body has a network of receptors that respond to cannabinoids? Cannabinoids are the chemical compounds of cannabis. This system is called the endocannabinoid system. So far, we know these receptors do the following. They promote sleep. They regulate appetite. They improve, stimulates our immune system. It elevates our mood, which is great for depression. It's helpful in pain control, pain therapy. And last but definitely not least, it reduces anxiety. Overall, It promotes balance and regulation in our bodies. These receptors are found in our brain, our organs, our connective tissues, glands, and our immune cells. They're embedded in our cell membranes. The endocannabinoid system has more of these receptors than any of the other receptor systems in our bodies. Now, I'm going to go into the two different types of receptors. Okay, so our first receptor is called the CB1 receptors. And these receptors control or affect the nervous system, the connective tissues, the gonads, the glands, and the organs. Now the second receptor is called the CB2 receptor. The CB2 receptor's job is to take care of the immune system. The goal of all this, the whole endocannabinoid system, is homeostasis. It's like a bridge between the body and the mind. A functional endocannabinoid system is essential for good health. So this just kind of starts out showing you kind of a little bit about the endocannabinoid system, and we will go further into it each time we go have a video. So I just wanted to let you know, in 1902, Thomas Edison said, there were never so many able, active minds at work on the problem of disease as now, and all their discoveries are tending toward the simple truth that you can't improve on nature. So anytime we can use something natural to cure or to help with something in our bodies, always try to go the natural way. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of Evie's Cannalogue. Please message me with any questions you may have. Each week I'll pick a question and I'll do my best to find the answers for you. Join me in 2 weeks when I will answer the question, can smoking cannabis cause seizures? Stay tuned next Tuesday. We'll be here with Freddy Dub of Dope Dub Records for Evie's Integrated Healthcare's second episode of the Med Review. He visited the Smoking Gun Apothecary and will be reviewing the strains Blue Dream and Gorilla Glue No. 4. Everyone take care of yourself.